This is Terry here with Musicxclusives TV. We're here at the Barclays Def Jam 30th anniversary concert, and I've got Rosenberg from Hot 97.
True.
First time I met this guy was 2010. Drake was leaving the station, and from at that point, like, you were known, but now, like, the respect that you have as a hip-hop expert has, like, grown tremendously.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think it has. It's also, I mean, everything's grown. That's grown. Love's grown. Hate's grown. I'm certainly more notable than I was then, and I'm very blessed and thankful for the run I've gotten to have at Hot. It's been tremendous.
For 20 years, Hot 97 been a juggernaut, not only in New York but in hip hop. Angie Martinez leaves. Are you upset with her?
No, I was sad. I was not upset with her. I understood. Money is money, and she has a child, and she's setting up for the rest of her life. She already had. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying Angie didn't have money.
Straight,
she was straight anyway. But listen, she had an opportunity to make a lot more money. She took that opportunity. I'll tell you this: a lot of people went to the station to celebrate that day. I didn't do that.
A lot of people went to Hot 97
yes.
to celebrate. Oh,
a bunch of people went.
Looking at her spot.
Yeah, they were like, "Let's go celebrate the day with her." And I will tell you, I told her afterwards, I was in no mood to come celebrate with you.
Wow.
I wasn't mad at you, but I was not in the mood to celebrate. Yeah, I can't, like, listen, it breaks my heart that I see her next to that shitty logo that means nothing. And that's not a diss to her. She got a big check and she's still doing a great job.
Yeah.
But in terms of history, when Angie goes into the Hall of Fame, she's going in with Hot 97.
She is.
We all know that. That logo, their logo doesn't mean anything. The Hot 97 logo means something. And so as it hurts me that she's not on my team, but I am not mad at her, and I understand. I love her. She's a great person. I wish her the best. And I think she made the right decision for her family and her life. And she'd already done enough at Hot 97, man. What more is she going to contribute? She contributed. She did her thing.
But were certain things like strategic, like mentioning the Nicki Minaj and all that? Was that some stuff that maybe like you brought attention to probably take your name?
No, that was, believe me, that was more scary at first than it was.
I was like, yo, he's on a black station dissing black people. Like, I just didn't like the feel of it. And you know what else? Like, I was thinking, like, those pop stations and stuff like that, like, they don't really get on there and, like, blast the pop artists like that.
But they don't have a culture like that. We have a cult. Hip-hop is a culture we love.
It's so different.
And by the way, who am I going to diss if not black people? I'm on a hip-hop station. I have to diss black people sometimes. If I diss white rappers...
Absolutely not. You watch your mouth, sir.
You only want me to go at Mac Miller? I mean, who am I going to go at?
And Mac Lamore.
And Mac,
no, none of those things are planned. You know, they haven't been. And to be honest, I've made real strategic decisions since then to make sure I don't do that.
Really?
Because, like, last year, I remember I was like, well, what am I going to do at Summer Jam this year? I've had, like, things happen at Summer Jam. And the second the thought crossed my mind of what am I going to do,
yeah.
I was like, nothing.
Wow.
Because if I force something, it'll turn out badly.
Wow.
The reason the Nicki thing turned out okay is because ultimately, and I'm not like some religious dude or spiritual guy, but like my karma was good because my intentions weren't bad.
Yeah.
It was trying to be show love for this music that I love. And
you coming up in a hip hop dominated industry as a white male, what barriers did you face? And, I mean, yeah, respect is like on a great level now. What barriers did you face in, let's say, the early 2000s?
I wouldn't use the word barriers because I think being a white man in America, there are very few barriers. It's all laid out for you.
In hip hop, though.
In hip hop, it's not barriers. It's prejudging. You know, it's moments like today when we're sitting there and they're like, "Oh, Gabrielle Union's gonna come talk to you," and she walks by and we're like, "Hey, Gabrielle," and she goes, "I'm afraid," and she walks away.
What do you mean?
And I'm like, "Why are you afraid of me?"
Gabrielle Union afraid of Rosenberg?
I was like, "Why was Gabrielle?" I was like, "I've never even said it."
In your pocket?
I don't know. I'm like, what did I ever say that was mean to someone? You're confusing me with other people who say derogatory, mean, nasty things. I don't. I've only been controversial for giving like opinions on songs, or like even in the case of this most, I defended my friend. I don't attack people. And so here's my question. I'm not alluding to the fact that I think Gabrielle Union is racist or something, but there is some factor that makes me seem like I'm in some way like dangerous. And sometimes I do wonder if it's
honest. I think you're an honest.
And do people maybe remember me better because I'm the white guy? Yes, I think they can remember. So they see me do one thing, and then they're like, "Oh, that guy." Whereas I might be able to mix in a little bit better otherwise.
So he's like Howard Stern. He's dangerous. And
then it's about, I'm not dangerous. dangerous at all. But you know, so I do think that I dealt with a few things like that people held on to certain things, like the Nicki thing. Like people were coming up for still to this day. It's probably because of that she said that. People act like I'm something else, and I'm like, does race factor into that? It could. I really don't know. I don't really think about the race stuff that much. Ebro always points it out to me.
Yeah.
He's always like, you don't realize
he's half white too.
And he notices it more with me too. I'll be like, you don't realize that's why that person's messing with you? And I'm like, no. And he's like, trust me, that's why they're not fucking with you.
Wow.
And but no, by and large, I mean, listen, being white and it gets you attention. People, you seem wackier and like crazier.
But you're in touch with everything.
I try to be. I mean,
are you ever fearful that maybe like this lifestyle interferes with your marriage and probably raises trust issues with your wife or anything?
Are you talking about the lifestyle like that?
Yeah.
Well, I would say to my wife when it comes up, I go, but that banana. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, it doesn't bring up trust issues. It's just a matter of whether you're a douche or not. And for the most part, I'm not a douche. I've had moments when I've been a douche. I don't mean like a really bad douche, but a douche enough to irritate my wife. And my wife is amazing. And when you realize what makes someone a shitty person is when you realize you're being shitty and you continue to be shitty. Like, oh, you know what? I didn't need to take that picture with this person, or I didn't need to leave that comment, or I don't need to DM with that person, whatever the thing may be, right? My wife knows I have relationships with very attractive women in our business, and she's very cool with that. Me being so ugly makes it easier for her to trust me. But no, my wife and I have been together for 10 years.
It's almost midnight. You got to be up in like 3-4 hours.
Yeah, I'm leaving. Stop it.
How do you do that? I mean, you're not 21
years old. I nap every day. I'm not 21 years old. I'm 35.
How do you do this?
I sleep every day from about 2 p.m. to 5 p.m.
3 hours.
About 3 hours. And then I sleep at night from about 12:30 to 5. So I end up getting my 7 hours, 7.5 hours a day. And that's it. And that's how I've kept my beautiful good looks in spite of my... Like, you see, people are like, well, you chose sides. I'm like, that's how divorce works.
This is life, right?
When divorce happens, no matter who you are, you choose sides.
Yeah.
I chose Amber because she's my friend. That does not mean I don't fuck with Wiz. Of course I fuck with Wiz. I assume it'll be all love. Wiz is a good dude. Wiz is a cool guy. Like, Wiz already knew that I was really tight with his wife. So there's no reason he would be weird about it. Wiz is a cool guy. Right? And in spite of the fact that I felt a little bad, I guess people made me feel sort of bad about mentioning it. But at the time, it sucks because my only intention in the world was just to be like, you know, I'm going to say something. I'm going to deflect a little bit from my friend and say something that I think people need to hear because she's a great person.
Nice.
And people end up saying all these other things, and I'm like, you end up getting ridiculed by cowards because you were ultimately being a good friend and being honest.
So to wrap this up, what is one thing that you can say to any young person coming out of college who wants to get into radio? What's the most important thing that they should learn about the radio business? Or most important thing that they should watch out for in the radio business?
I mean, listen, doing an internet show isn't doing a radio show. You need to go get radio experience. If you want to do radio and you believe that radio is where you want to be, it's hard.
Yeah.
You know, and as many outlets as there are, that FM radio outlet, trust me, as someone whose life has been changed by it, and who has friends who are at Sirius, friends who are at internet radio, that FM dial changes you in a different way. It is an amazing opportunity. Yeah. As much as people will tell you radio's not the same, people have so many options. Trust me.
Into your car immediately.
Trust me, it's there. You become a part of people's lives. So if you're committed to radio, be willing to travel to smaller markets and be willing to learn radio and be committed to it. Study the greats, like myself. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kind of kidding. And grind.
It's not there already. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Definitely. And that's it, man. This is Terry here with Musicxclusives TV, and I'm here with somebody who's definitely a staple in hip-hop, Rosenberg from Hot 97. Peace.